Well, it's now March, and you know what that means. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, spring is coming up. So eventually, we will have to say goodbye to the delicious snow that we play with and maybe eat in favor of the birds returning from the south and the animals coming out of hibernation. Oh, and maybe spring break as well. I can't forget that. On top of that, I guess the little Einsteins better get ready for this greenish time of year for our changing climate. I think there is one thing we could do to celebrate the coming season brought to us by our Mother Nature. Watch an episode of the Care Bears family that just so happens to be about bringing spring to life. Yes, I never thought I would get to talk about this kitty show again, huh? Anyway, the episode that I'm referring to is Caring for Spring. Anyone up for some pies? In the cloud world of Carolot, Baby Hugs and Baby Tugs are fighting because they won't help each other. So Grams Bear decides to tell them a story set in a world called Nursery Rhyme Land. Sounds interesting, right? A land populated by nursery rhyme characters? And apparently in this universe, all the characters are played by many of the Care Bears family characters, as the story will allow. With maybe the exception of Cock Robin, who is a talking bird, by the way. Anyway, Mother Nature and Cock Robin were preparing for the first day of spring when suddenly the story's main villain, called the Wicked Witch of Winter, and her bumbling pie-loving servant named Simple Simon came in to kidnap Mother Nature and take her to the Ice Castle, where her plan is to launch an eternal winter on this land and prevent Mother Nature from bringing spring back. Cock Robin stays behind and warns Jack and Jill about what's going on. From there, the latter two go to an ogre's bridge, answer his riddle, and earn themselves a magic ring that can grant the user 3 wishes. The catch, though, is that they can't wish Mother Nature free because it only works when they are not so far away, meaning they actually have to put in the effort to go to the Ice Castle and free her there. Along the way, they help out other residents of Nursery Rhyme Lands with their problems with the power of the ring, only to use up the last of its rings. Last of its magic for Simple Simon disguised as Little Bo Peep. Oh, and by the way, he was ordered by the Witch of Winter to stop Jack and Jill from getting to the castle, with all of his plans of doing so failing. When the duo finally make it to their destination, they are locked up and will soon turn into fuzzy icicles. That is until 2 of the 3 people who got helped by Jack and Jill earlier show up to stop the witch and free the prisoners just in time for Mother Nature to bring back spring. Cock Robin then reveals that he has informed the 2 people off screen to help them after what they did for them. As the story ends, Baby Hugs and Tugs learn the good of helping others and start to be nicer to each other. The end. So, if Grams Bear is a sailor, should we take her story too seriously? Good! The episode has a great lesson in regards to helping others. It states that if you help someone, someday they might help you. And in these challenging times, the lesson is even more important now than ever. The humor is not that bad, honestly, particularly with Simple Simon and his obsession with pies. Yum. The characters, for the most part, are pretty enjoyable there, so there's that. Bad! I'll be real with you, the Wicked Witch of Winter sucks as a villain, as she is part of the many plot holes in this episode. Like, why didn't she just try to stop Jack and Jill from getting to the castle herself instead of relying on someone else to do so? Why didn't she just turn Mother Nature and later Jack and Jill into fuzzy icicles sooner when she had all the time in the world to do so? Why did she stop Jack Be Nimble and Wee Willie Winky before they got to the cage to free her prisoners instead of having Simple Simon try to do it for her? How did she, Simple Simon, and Mother Nature make it back to the castle right away when it's too far away? Where did Simple Simon get his Little Bo Peep costume? How did Simple Simon get back to the castle before Jack and Jill could make it there to report on them losing the ring, especially when he fell down the gap that the chopped down bridge got across? How did Jack Be Nimble lose his candlestick to begin with? How did he, the ogre, and Wee Willie Winky not notice that their land is covered in snow? How did Cock Robin survive the cold when he told Jack and Jill that they used up the magic ring's 3 wishes? Birds fly south for a reason, you know. How did he know the magic ring's power was used up? Was he somehow following them without them knowing? And if so, That's not a nice thing to do. Otherwise, how did he know who Jack B. Nimble and Wee Willie Winky were and where to find them off screen for the episode's climax? Why didn't Jack and Jill question where Little Bo Peep was after they were saved by the first two people that they helped at all? Why didn't Simple Simon put his pie back in his cab when he tried to execute his second plan to stop Jack and Jill from getting to the castle? Probably so we could have his Little Bo Peep moment. How did Jack know that to have the magic ring grant wishes, you need to rhyme instead of saying I wish? How is it not a long distance ring? Must be a forced reason to get the plot moving. Oh, and for that matter, where did this whole nursery rhyme land story come from? Graham Sparrow can't have just made it up right away as she went along. Was it passed down to her by her ancestors? And if so, how did they come up with this story to begin with? Man, there's so much bad writing here. I think I can create a more cohesive plot than this. Baby Hugs, when you said that was a wonderful story that Graham Sparrow told, I don't believe it, because Caring for Spring, while it is harmless with its lesson on helping others, decent humor, and tolerable characters for the most part, is ultimately ruined with its bad writing resulting in countless plot holes, forced rules as to how the magic ring works, and incompetent villainess to say the least. I feel like that this illogical script was only the first draft, as they didn't bother to tweak it to make it more worthwhile. Because of that, it's hard for me to recommend this episode, to be honest. I guess if you have kids who just need to be entertained and learn a life lesson for less than half an hour, there are worse options out there. But don't be surprised if they start questioning things that don't make sense, because kids deserve better than this. So with that taken care of, I'm going to give this episode 2 fingers out of 5. Alright folks, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and or whatever you can think of these days. I'm the Purple Mario, and I'd rather prepare for summer and winter, to be honest. If you've seen my recent Spell Battle episode, you'd understand that.